So it's very nice making predictions, but it's better if we, with the residuals, we saw that they're not always super spot on, right? So let's just look at this scatter plot. Obviously, this is made up stuff. I just made a quick little thing of how long you study and what your grade is. And so you can tend to see that the more people studied, the higher their grade. But there are some people that studied quite a bit that still have a relatively low grade, and there's some people that didn't study very much that have higher grades. So a typical thing for us to do here is to make a line of best fit like this. Now let's say that I have someone that studied for 5 hours and I wanted to figure out what I would predict their score to be. I could just go up to my line of best fit and say, okay, well, I would expect them to get, let's say that that's a 70%. That's a totally reasonable thing to do. However, there's some people, like if I wanted to do that guess for, let's say, 7 hours worth of study, I've got this person that studied 7 hours that's really low, this person that was like pretty close to my estimate, and this person that's like way off, right? So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with the gaps that I have. So this is this idea of kind of having an upper, well, I'll write it when I have it. So this right here is my line of best fit. And I'm going to make 2 more lines on my paper. Best fit. And it has a nice slope, right? Because generally it's going up like this. What I want to do is I want to take the point that's on my lowest edge down here, the one with the highest residual, the highest distance from my line of best fit, further away than this, right? This is the furthest dot away. And I want to make it parallel to my line of best fit. So it looks like this. And this thing's called the lower, it's a lower bound, right? And I'm going to do the same thing on the top. I take the one that's farthest away, and I make a line parallel to my line of best fit. And I'm going to call that the upper bound. Right? So I just realized I did that a little off screen. And that is the upper bound. So what this means is if I wanted to estimate that person that stayed for 5 hours, I could say that they're anywhere between, this and this as a range, right? They could fall anywhere between there because I had a lot of students that could fall in between that range, right? In fact, anywhere in here is within the realm of possibility, right? And this is fairly spread out data, right? But you could tell that if you were out here, right, that means you're studying quite a bit, but man, you're not in the upper or lower bound. So you don't typically fall in the same pattern that every other student has. So this is really helpful for finding outliers, identifying outliers that maybe are struggling. So this would be a student that's really struggling, and no matter how much they study, they're just not getting into that, even the lower bound aspect. And this student should probably be replaced because he barely studied at all, and he did just as good as the people that studied for forever. So upper and lower bound is a good way of dealing and talking about outliers.